So we're going to look at some effects that you can place on shapes to make some kind of interesting shapes. Okay, I've made a series of rectangles. I've selected the top one. I'm going to go to Effects, and I'm going to select Distort and Transform. So I'm going to start with Pucker and Bloat. You need to make sure to select the preview because that is by default, it's turned off. So this one you can go either way. So if I go towards Pucker, you can see I can get something like that. And if I go to Bloat, something like this. And these, of course, the more you exaggerate them. So I think I'll leave it at that. Next, I'm going to jump down to Zig Zag. And again, you need to click the preview. And you play around with these and see what you get. Get really wild there if you want. Or something a little more tame. I actually kind of like that really wild one, so I'm going to say okay to that. Here's what it would look like with corners. I actually kind of like the smooth ones. And you can see I still have the form of the shape. I'll come back and address that in a little bit. Let's go ahead and take a look at Tweak. Now this might work a little better on a different form. It gives you a really kind of organic looking shape. Say okay to that, move it off to the side. And we'll look at one last one. I think we'll look at roughen. So obviously these are all things that you should go in and play with if you want to get some kind of organic or very distinct types of shapes out of some basic ones. I'm just working with the rectangle. I definitely suggest trying it on triangles and stars and so on and so forth. But I'm going to stick with what I've got right now. Now another thing that I'm going to look at is warp. So I'm going to come over here. Oops, I believe it's best if I select something first. There we go. And I'm going to select warp. And now this is kind of cool because you can come through here. Obviously you can change things in here. But I can also see, that's not doing very much, is it? I can also come in right here and change things. I'll just have to go back and say, I'll go back with this one. You can see that you can come in and you can change things right in there. I'm going to move some of these around. So I have a little more versatility to do that. Let's see what happens with fisheye. I think this is one that probably needs some distortion on it to get a full effect. This is inflate. It really changes the nature of that look. Okay, I'll try one last, whoops, I think I'll try two last ones. Let's try flag. Okay, so one last thing, and again, you can go crazy with these. You can put different effects on the same shape, so on and so forth. But when I select all, you'll notice they still have got the path for the rectangle. So what you absolutely need to do is when you find a shape that you've put an effect on and you really like it, what you need to do is select it and go to Object, and then expand appearance. And you can see suddenly these are those actual shapes, and you really do want that, especially if you're building a more complex piece. So play around, have fun. You'll never know what you'll accidentally create, which ends up being a really kind of awesome shape and possibly an inspiration.